and it's great once again to be joined by two individuals who have contributed so much to the game of badminton. And but firstly, I want to welcome all our viewers on our Facebook page. It's great once again to join all of you. And without wasting much time ado, let me introduce to you our two panelists, two experts who purely going to discuss today about badminton, Malaysia's favorite sport, in fact, probably after football, a sport that has always contributed, has always shined at the international arena. And joining me today on this show is our national shuttler, former coach, team manager. He has brought great glory to the country. They also know him as Mr. Bata. For the years he has served the company, I'm sure now mentioned, you probably know who I'm talking about. He was the Deputy Chef de Mission in Glasgow Commonwealth Games, national champion 3 years from 1977 and onward, 74 to 76. And let me introduce to you Datuk James Selvaraj. Datuk, thank you for joining us today.
Hi. Glad to be here to the program.
Thank you so much. It's good seeing you. I hope you're well. Looking healthy as ever, as young as ever, I would say. And of course, lain tak bukan yang also with us today is former national champion who played for many years for the country, and now he's the head coach of Petaling Jaya Badminton Club. Welcome to the show, Coach Ismail Saman.
Thank you very much. Petaling United,
sorry, minta maaf, Petaling United. Banyak klub lah, Petaling United, Petaling Jaya BC dan sebagainya. Petaling United, yes, welcome to the show, Coach. Coach ya, Coach?
Sehat. Duduk rumah.
Macam mana, Coach? PKP ni dah mula ada apa-apa perkembangan ke untuk Petaling United?
Belum lagi. Yang berkembang badan saya kembang. Makan tidur.
Ya, kita harap you will start training soon lah, Coach. Saya tahu Coach pun ada ramai anak muda yang sedang sedang tunggu untuk mulakan latihan bersama coach dan dekat klub coach kan, ya?
Betul. Mereka sudah tak sabar lagi nak training ni. Dah hampir 3 bulan di rumah.
Yeah. Okay, we will start with Datuk James. Datuk, how are you keeping? And maybe you can tell us what you'll be doing these days with this PKP and everything that's happening. Maybe you can give us some insights. How are you spending your time?
First, I have to tell that it is driving us crazy, all right. But I'm spending a lot of time. In the morning I get up a bit later. Not like normally when I go to work was 7, but now I have to get up at 8:30. But still, I still do a 1 hour workout. I do my normal walking and jogging a little bit, and then I have my late breakfast, so I can skip one lunch. So I have to maintain my weight. If not, put on weight, eating and sleeping. So that is really, I usually do morning workout and sometimes I do another walk in the evening. But now with all these things, I only do one morning walk and I'm all right. I'm still at home. I left Bata after 40 years working for them.
Amazing. What a journey.
Go back. I've been made a consultant with Bata and I still go back to office off and on when they need my services. So I'm been a little busy still doing some work for Bata. And I've got another marketing company that I'm just helping out. So it's still keeping my time busy with a little bit things that I can do from home, and hopefully I think will get better. Now just waiting for Olympics to start and then I can, watch TV for the next 14 days, yeah.
Do you still play the game once in a while? I mean, before this pandemic and all, were you still playing?
I used to go and watch people play and then off and on they asked me to play. I will just join in play 2-3 strokes and standing in one corner.
Appearances, I believe.
We have got quarter court there. We just sit in one corner and let everybody run, not us.
Right. That's great. So, Coach, Datuk, let's talk a bit more. I mean, you played for the country from 1970s and you held many positions, as a player. You were the coach, team manager, chef de mission in various capacity. But something that probably not many people know, probably the young viewers who are following us on this show tonight, you were actually the Badminton Association Malaysia High Performance Director in 2010 to 2012. And that was the strategic planning that was happening for Chong Wei to win a medal in the Olympics. And he did win the silver in 2012 Olympics as well. So how do you see now the journey from London Olympics 2012 to Rio 2016 and now Tokyo 2020? How the game has evolved?
I became the coaching director in 2010. I was brought in by the president, Tan Sri Nazmi, and he asked me to join in and glad to come and help. So I was basically on a part-time basis, still working for Bata, but went to the center in the mornings and then the afternoons, and then the weekends I spent more time with them so that we were still getting along with the coaches and everything. My job as training when I was made high performance director. Mine was coordinating what the coaches had planned and looking at the program. Was it good enough for the players? Especially when Chongwei, we wanted to make Chongwei get the gold medal. So it was a 2-year planning and that was going on. Even though earlier Chongwei was playing, the 2010 to 2012 for me was, the 2 years was something that I wanted to do extra. See what they can, how we can help them with. And really, we did our homework. Hendrawan and Tesubok at the time really did their homework and we got him ready for the 2012 Olympics. We were so sure that he was going to be much better than Ting. But I still remember when the Chinese team arrived at the Wembley Stadium on 2012, I saw Lin Dan's face. There was something totally different from what I've seen him earlier. He was, his face was like a tiger. He just was wanting to eat all his opponents, waiting for that. That kind of feeling in the team. I was a little shocked when I saw him, but I said, no, we still have Chongwei. We are going to win. And the game started off very well. The first game, especially, Lindan was sitting. I remember the game very well because Lindan was making a lot of mistakes. And first game went on, and he won quite well, I think, easily. 2012, the second game was a bit tough. Went on a little bit, and the score was moving away. So Chongwei had to give up that game and come back in the third game. He came in very, very well. I think he took a very good lead. He went up to even 19. He took the 19 point first against Lindan. So I think and I was so sure. And in badminton nowadays with this type of scoring system, if you reach the 19 point, you can safely say you're very, very safe in getting that point and the match. So we were so confident it was going to get. But somehow this Lindan guy, he was cool like a cat, but he was really ferocious playing his strokes. And he was just playing the game. He was just playing to Chongwei's strokes and stroke for stroke. And he came into 19 all. That's where I got frightened. I knew that at 19 all, Chongwei was he going to withstand this guy or not? And sure enough, that last point, when Lindan got the 20th point, I knew Chongwei was really fighting till the very end. He never gave up. That's the beauty of that boy. He never gave up. He was still fighting towards the end. But you got to give credit to Lindan for, beating the guy. But Chongwei did all. I cannot deny the fact that he gave everything into that game and he lost and he got the silver. So we were so waiting. Even our then Prime Minister's wife was also there and all these people. All the people flew in just to see him win the tournament. But somehow or other he did not make it. But you cannot deny that he did not that he didn't do well. He played very, very well. He gave his all, but it was not good enough to beat Lindan. So that when he came to 2016, the 4-year break, he had his time, all his time, and he was winning. You will see if you look at his tournament winnings, he had won most of the major tournaments.
Yes.
So when you win that kind of tournament, you're very sure the boy is on the right path. So when 2016 came, we also thought the same thing will happen. But somehow or other, he just lost out in the 2016 Olympics again. So it was very sad to see him lose in that game again. So because I thought that was the time that he should have won the title, and if not, he's not going to win anymore. 2020, he was. I was thinking at that time, 2020, he would not make it. But somehow or other, really, there was something that went wrong. He had nose cancer and all these things. So he is not playing. But he now have one boy who we are giving our hopes onto with his Didia.
Yeah.
He played very good to win the All England. But what I can say about Didia is today in Tokyo is a different ball game altogether. It's not the same as what we all would be expecting. No, when you have spectators, the spectators will make you stronger to win a point, because when they start chasing you, you will have more guts. Your feeling, your match temperament, everything comes into play. You will play much stronger. But when you don't have spectators behind you, that will slow down the game a little bit to a certain extent. But then again, what is going to happen in this 2020 Olympics, and I don't say only for the Malaysian boys, I say for the whole, all the athletes that are taking part, the outside pressure is worse than the pressure inside the court. That is more, you feel that the pressure of COVID-19 and the thoughts, the fear is the most important, because when you cannot even go and talk to somebody that you know very well, you can't even go near the guy. You have to keep your distance. So you're wearing your mask. You can't see his face. You don't have the expression of your face. There's no feeling. So it's going to be a total different kind of pressure and to perform. When you have that pressure, how are you going to perform? You ask yourself.
Yeah.
But again, you must tell yourself, Vidya, I would say that he has to tell himself, if you are feeling the pressure like this, your opponent is also having the same pressure. So if you that will become balanced up, then what you can do is tell yourself, I am going to win. Focus on the game, give all you got, and I think you'll be a much better person. Because having won the All England, it's not easy to win the All England. To us, at one time, it was the most premier tournament, and if he really gives heart and soul, I think he will still be there. Even though Mamoto is from Japan, there will be still people, their own players and the coaches are going to be there. We don't know what he has been doing, how much training he's been doing. Like our training was all closed door training. We didn't have many match practices only among our players. So I think it's going to be a different thing altogether. To me, I would see a lot of different things happening. But the draw is also another problem. He's supposed to meet Chen Long. We also don't know what's happening to Chen Long. How was China training? How much? But the only extra thing I would know about China is they've got lots and lots of players who can spar with the top players there. They can put two against one, 3 against 1, and still spar with the players to give them better match practice compared to ours. You have good GTR there. There are not many singles players who can match him. So that's another back step that we're taking for our own players. So I will just tell him that, he has to put that aside, and hopefully he will be able to perform in this particular tournament.
I think you rightly said that today it's about mind game, the strength of the mental, and of course, being a former high performance director, you know that sports science and sports data plays a very important role in prepping the athlete. But as much as the game, if you look at it, in the early years was a lot about flair, techniques, and so forth. But today we look at the whole industry of badminton in terms of playing style has changed. Today we're talking about speed, about endurance, about power, and so forth. And I'm sure the other thing that I want to ask you about Team Japan with Park Jubong being there for years, and you look at the Japanese players ranked in the top 10 in the world, whether it's singles, women's singles, men's double, they are really making an impact. And will you be surprised if the Japanese badminton team will definitely be there to win as many gold medals as possible?
For sure, because their home team, they were really waiting to win the Olympic easily. But because of COVID, they also had their own problems. But it's not, and I would say that Park Jubong did a fantastic job after leaving Malaysia and going to Japan. He really has brought all the players together, and he was smart enough to take our own coaches even. He took Jeremy Gunn, he took Kim He, and he used to boost up his own players. And I think he has done a good job in his own in Japan and make these players become better players. He was when he was playing. He started off as a singles player and playing that. Then he went on into doubles and he played mixed doubles. And finally pinned up the Kimonsu and won so many major titles in the doubles. But I think he's done a good job, and I think he must be prepared to really get all his players to go all the way, because they've got good lady singles players. They've got good men's singles boy, and the second boy. I don't know whether the other boy is playing or not.
Right.
But good doubles pair. Kimmer has already taken the doubles pair to another level again.
Okay.
they are waiting to perform, to show to the home country that they are a team to reckon. But as I said, Didia has chance. They want to make whatever win this goal.
Okay, Datuk. We'll come back to you shortly. Coach Ismail, sebagai bekas pemain kebangsaan dan sekarang jurulatih dengan sebuah kelab yang cukup berjaya, bagaimana Coach Ismail melihat perkembangan skuad badminton negara? Ramai yang meletakkan harapan, ramai yang meletakkan satu hope ya, bahawa kemungkinan besar Malaysia boleh memenangi tingkat emas satu dalam acara badminton, mungkin melalui Chang Pei Sun dengan juga Go Liu Ling atau mungkin melalui pasukan Bergu. Bagaimana Coach Ismail melihat perkembangan skuad badminton negara, Coach?
Okey, pertama sekali ya, kalau kita lihat pada perkembangan sekarang, badminton adalah satu permainan yang bagus, yang baik. Tapi masa pandemik ini, kita boleh lihat berapa struggle-nya pemain-pemain ini untuk mempersiapkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik. Dan kita tidak boleh mengatakan antara satunya adalah Mamota boleh memenangi pingat emas. Sebab kalau kita lihat daripada setahun yang lepas, daripada All England, semua pemain tidak menyertai pertandingan. Jadi macam Datuk Jim cakap tadi, match temperamen atau keadaan suasana pertandingan yang tidak dirasai oleh kesemua pemain ini, itulah yang menjadi punca yang tidak boleh pemain itu perform. Sebab kalau kita lihat untuk membuat satu preparation, kita memerlukan sekurang-kurangnya 6 atau 7 pertandingan sebelum ke kejohanan besar. Dan kita juga memerlukan perlawanan persahabatan, friendly match untuk menguji kita punya kemampuan. Tapi sekarang ini kita tak tahu kemampuan pemain negara kita juga, Lizizia, Chang Peng Sun dan Aaron Chia Sohoyi dan Bergu wanita. Kita tidak tahu di mana level mereka. Memang tidak dinafikan Lizizia seorang juara yang menjuari kejohanan All England baru-baru ni. Jadi yang ini adalah satu kejohanan yang sangat-sangat besar. Sangat-sangat berpraktis. So, jadi jurulatih juga tidak dapat menilai bagaimana keadaan prestasi Kenta Momota, Cheng Long, Chao Chin Tien dan banyak lagi pemain-pemain yang menyertai kejohanan Olimpik itu. So bagi saya, ini adalah satu tekanan yang sangat-sangat hebat. Bukan tekanan di dalam gelanggang, tetapi tekanan di luar environment kita. Ya, contoh, sekarang masa pandemik COVID-19, macam Datuk Jet cakap tadi, kita pun bila keluar tidak boleh bertemu dengan pemain lain, kita tidak boleh melihat perkembangan mereka dan kita sentiasa harus memakai topeng mulut untuk menutup kita punya self, menjaga kesihatan kita. Dan dari situ juga, ini kita harus menjaga kita punya sekeliling, environment sekeliling. Sebab andai kata satu contoh yang kalau saya ingat lagi, di terbuka Thailand, tak salah saya bulan 1, ya, pemain India, dia dah menjaga kesihatan. Cuma bila membuat swab test, dia tiba-tiba dikenakan positif COVID. So dari situ dia terpaksa menarik diri dalam kejohanan itu. Dan jadi ini juga saya takut di Olimpik kelak, Lizizia, atau pemain-pemain lain yang sentiasa harus menjaga kesihatan masing-masing. Bukan tekanan dari dalam gelanggang, tekanan daripada luar gelanggang yang membolehkan mereka untuk menjaga kesihatan mereka.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Dato' James?
Yeah.
Let's look at the other factor when we are talking about, for example, like Coach Ismail said about the pandemic and of course the players who are coming on board to play. Now, some of the names that are there, Victor Axelsen, Jonathan Christie from Indonesia, they are there. Then you look at women's single, we have Carolina Marin, and we have of course from India PV Sidhu.
Yeah.
You know, it's really an interesting competition. How do you see these players actually performing in Tokyo?
As I said earlier, the pressure, outside pressure is bigger than the pressure inside the court. As a player, they played with each other. If you look at all the top players, they played with each other all the while in all the tournaments.
Yeah.
Whether it's Chelsea or Momota or Tenlong or Jidia or whatever, they've all been there. Just like when earlier was Chongwei, Peter Gate, Dan.
Yeah.
So it's a different era altogether. So what I'm trying to say is, all these players that played each other, they know each other's game. It's only whether they are going to put actually extra training that they would have done back home in preparation for the coming Olympics. They may have one or two extras, something different from what they are usually doing. Instead of putting the racket up or you don't put the racket, that's all up. It's a game altogether. The coach would have prepared the players in a way that they will be able to really put them towards the game. I think it is going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
To see how these players perform. You see, like Ismail said just now, what is outside the outcome? We can't even meet the player. We can't even say hello to him. So we have to build what I feel that whether it's GGR or whether it's Tonjia or the goal winning Beng Soon, who have got a very good chance also in the mixed double. What they have got to say is they have really got to ask themselves and tell them, look, I want to prepare myself. I'm going to go inside the court and fight like a tiger and win the match. So that's what these players have got to basically do. Whether that's why I don't. We all don't know what's the preparation of other countries. You see, from India.
Sorry, Coach. But I think BM made a very good move by sending our players out quite early from Thailand Open. They played in the BWF World Grand Finals, etc. in January. So I think they prepared or prepped them quite well by sending them out early and getting used to the sports bubble and SOP. Yeah?
That's a good, yeah, correct. I agree with you. The tournament that GGR went, he did very badly in the 2 tournaments in Thailand.
Correct.
It's a lesson. Apparently, I don't know whether it was true or not, that he came back, he received the letter to ask why did he perform so badly. Something like that. I don't know whether it's true.
Yeah.
That he was given a letter. If he was given a letter, I think that was one thing that would have prepped him up. Would have told himself that if I don't do well in the next tournament, I'm finished with BM. BM will throw me out. So I think that was a motivating factor for him to come up with himself and tell himself, look, I have to make myself better. And that's what he did in All England. He came up so well. Congrats to him that he won that title. It was very good, even though Moto was not prepared for this All England. He beat him. He went on to beat Victor. And I think he played well. So if he has that confidence, all I've got to tell this boy is build up the confidence now. You got a few more days left still. This is preparation, and I hope the sports psychologists and all people who are with him there will really, and I always have told Tan Sri Noza, our president, you have to get a good psychologist for our badminton team. That is the most important in badminton. All the players, I said, if we have a good psychologist who can psycho the players, but I put that word in something, the word psycho, but that's what he has got to do, the psychologist.
The mind game.
Make them there, understand what is it you need in the game, and then make them ready for the matches.
Right.
I think that will help them to become champions again.
Thank you, Dato'. Coach, kita lihat Coach Ismail dalam kategori bergol lelaki top 10 ya. kita ada satu pair saja, Aaron Chia dengan Sovo Yigi. Bagaimana pula apabila kita melihat pemain-pemain daripada Indonesia dan juga pemain daripada Jepun? Ya, Jepun ada dua top pair dekat sana, iaitu Takisha Kamura dengan Kyogo Sonada dan juga Hiroyuki Endo dan Yo Watanabe. Dan kita melihat juga pasukan atau bergu Indonesia yang digandingkan oleh Hendra Setiawan dan Muhammad Hassan yang pernah memenangi pingat emas di Beijing 2008. Lepas tu di 2012 dan juga 2016 mereka berjaya ke peringkat suku air atau separuh air. Bagaimana kita melihat perkembangan bergu skuad lelaki dalam di Tokyo 2020 ni, Coach?
Okey, kalau kita lihat secara menyeluruh perkembangan permainan bergu Aaron Chia dan Soik, bagi saya mereka ini hanya boleh melakukan kejutan. Kerana bagi saya mereka adalah kali pertama bermain Olimpik di peringkat yang tertinggi. Bagi saya mereka banyak menghadapi tekanan yang harus mereka alami. Kerana kalau kita lihat banyak pasangan daripada Indonesia, dua pair, pasangan daripada Jepun, mereka ini level mereka terlampau jauh kalau nak dibandingkan dengan pasangan pemain kita. Walaupun saya tidak dinafikan mereka boleh menyinarkan peluang, tetapi bagi pendapat saya sendiri agak susah peluang itu untuk dicapai. Kerana rata-rata performance kalau kita lihat pasangan Gideon dengan Sanjaya dan Hendra Setiawan dengan Muhammad Hassan, mereka cukup konsisten di kebelakangan ini sebelum pandemik melanda. Dan rata-rata pasangan daripada Jepun tidak dapat dinafikan mereka kalau bermain di satu-satu kejohanan, mereka mesti melayakkan diri ke peringkat separuh akhir atau peringkat akhir. Jadi mereka punya permainan, mereka punya level, mereka punya speed and power melebihi Aaron Chia dan Soik. Tapi saya tidak memperkecilkan kebolehan mereka, tetapi kita kena realistik bagaimana harus menghadapi pasangan-pasangan daripada, terutamanya daripada pasangan Jepun. Kerana pasangan Jepun saya lihat mereka cukup konsisten dari segenap pukulan. Walaupun kadang-kadang kita lihat mereka bermain bersahaja, tetapi mereka cukup sukar dikalahkan. Satu, bermain di tempat sendiri. Satu advantage, walaupun tidak ada penyokong, tetapi bermain di tempat sendiri adalah satu motivasi semangat yang ada pada pemain-pemain Jepun. Dan keduanya, mereka bermain secara stroke konsisten, tidak mudah membuat kesilapan sendiri. Tapi bagi saya, untuk pertandingan perlawanan Olimpik ini, Aaron Chia dan Soik boleh menimba pengalaman dahulu kerana mereka masih muda dan mereka bermain di peringkat yang tertinggi. Environment pun mungkin berbeza dengan All England, terbuka Malaysia, terbuka Indonesia, kerana rata-rata pemain sudah mempersiapkan diri mereka untuk menghadapi kejohanan Olimpik ini. Itulah yang saya dapat rungkaikan sedikit. Bagi saya, mereka boleh mengalahkan pemain-pemain ternama, tetapi ada sedikit jurang dan ruang yang membezakan Aaron Chia dan Soik dengan pemain-pemain dari pasangan Jepun, terutamanya daripada pasangan negara Indonesia. Dan lagi satu saya nak tekankan sini, walaupun tidak ada crowd sendiri, semangat dalaman mereka haruslah kuat untuk memamerkan kebolehan mereka dengan level yang agak tinggi. Saya tidak dinafikan bahawa jurulatih mereka mempunyai ramuan tersendiri untuk membuat permainan mereka yang sangat bagus di peringkat Sukan Olimpik.
Well said, Mel. I agree with Mel on what you said.
Yeah, perfect.
Please, about these players, what they have done is the Japan players and the Japanese and the Indonesian have maintained their level of game. They have not gone down. They have really maintained their level of game and they've come up to a level that is now very hard to beat them off. The only thing about our pair, Aaron and so, what they have to do is they're coming in as underdogs. They may do, you never know what can happen during the match. Like Miles said, there is no spectators, there's nobody. But the home ground advantage is still for the Japanese. They've got two very good players. They've got two very good players from Indonesia. So you can see, and we are just these two young boys, and they've got many more years to perform. But if they can do well to get a medal, so be it. Let them get the medal and come back. But I think.
So you said just now, sorry, I'm going to stop you there. You said earlier about Japan and Indonesia, and also of course the Korean pair. Moving the level of performance. Now, how did that happen? What made them, to be in that disparity between the Malaysian doubles pair and, of course, the Korean, the Japanese, and the Indonesians? Maybe you can just give us illustration, elaborate a little bit more.
What I think what they did was the fighting spirit in them. The fighting spirit and the determination to become champion, to remain as champions. If you look at Hassan and Setia, these two boys, they've been there to the last two Olympics already. And still they're performing. It's not they have dropped the level down, they have maintained their level. So it's good that they have been playing well, they have maintained their game, and they have determined to prove to them, because they will know this is going to be their last Olympics for them. Because Setiawan is also quite old already now. So I think he's going to tell himself that this is my last chance to win the Olympic medal again. I want to do it. So this the inner feeling must come out. In these type of tournaments, and if you look at, I was just watching the TV the last few days, the old Olympics they were showing. I was just looking at Usain Bolt running. You look at the guy, you think there's nothing in him. He's just standing there. But you see when he runs, halfway after the 50-meter mark, he's going like a leopard. He's just running, pounding away, and going. The feeling he had in him, that the whole thing comes out of him. This is what we want our players to go. If we can bring out the one from inside, the determination to tell myself, I am going to win, I think they will. That's a different thing. That extra is going to help them through. And that's what has happened to all these players in the other countries like Japan and Indonesia and even Korea.
Yes, of course.
Look at
They've been very consistent in all the international events, especially the Olympics.
That's what has helped them through over the last 1 year, even without tournament. They maintain their level of game and still very consistent of how they play and play the game well. You see?
Thank you, Coach. Coach Ismail, saya lagi secara ringkasnya kita nak bincang sedikit saja mengenai bergu wanita Chow Mei Kwan dengan Lee Meng Yen yang layak juga, tetapi mereka juga berada dalam satu situasi yang cukup I would say cukup ketat atau cukup susah ya, dengan ramai lagi pemain-pemain bergu berkelas dunia. Bagaimana Coach Ismail melihat perkembangan Chow Mei Kwan dengan Lee Meng Yen ini? Secara ringkasnya, Coach.
Okey, kalau tidak dinafikan juga pasangan Chow Mei Kwan dan Lee Meng Yen memang sangat bagus. Memang mereka mempunyai satu level yang baik, dan baru-baru ini mereka melayakkan diri ke peringkat akhir di terbuka Thailand. Tetapi kita kena realistik bahawasanya permainan mereka belum lagi di tahap pemain dunia. Boleh dikatakan belum lagi di level top 10. Kerana rata-rata pemain di peringkat Olimpik ini bukannya daripada top 20 atau top 30. Mereka semua berada di kelas mereka sendiri. So, bagi saya juga pasangan Chow Mei Kwan dan Meng Yen ini akan harus mendapat pengalaman terlebih dahulu bagaimana mereka bermain dengan pemain-pemain terbaik dunia. Dan saya juga tidak dinafikan bahawa mereka boleh menyaingi dan bermain dengan mereka, tetapi untuk mencapai satu keputusan yang agak baik, saya rasa agak susah, kerana pasangan daripada China, pasangan daripada Thailand, daripada Denmark, daripada Indonesia, mereka sangat-sangat level mereka sangat-sangat baik kalau dibandingkan dengan pemain negara kita. Saya tidak memandang rendah kepada mereka. Mereka mempunyai semangat yang bagus, bekerja keras dalam gelanggang, tetapi apa yang saya dapat rungkaikan daripada pandangan saya, itulah realistik kita.
Okay, coach. Datuk, when you were the high performance director of badminton national Malaysia, I believe Chang Peng Soon and Goh Liu Ying was part of the project, because 2012 they actually participated in the 2012 Olympics, but they won the silver in Rio 2016. How do you see this mixed doubles pair, Datuk? They have gone through quite a lot. They have moved out to be independent players and so forth, and then they've come back and gone out again. And a lot of challenges and difficulties this pair has gone through. How do you see this pair performing in Tokyo?
Starting off from 2012, let me tell you, I was still the coaching director then when these two boys, Lu Ying and Peng Soon were playing. They actually could have won the gold medal also. They went so near winning the gold medal, but they just went away. They have trained for the last 8 years on their own. They were not on their own, but when they left BM, been training on their own. To me, I feel they did not have enough match practice. If you look at their game, the last two tournaments, they didn't have enough match practice. And match practice, I mean, not just playing with the opponent, but playing
competitive,
so that they can improve themselves on their strokes and the way they play. So what happened the last tournament that I saw them play, I felt that they were rattled. They get rattled and get very angry with themselves for making a mistake. They have to take away that part of it and throw it out and tell themselves, I will get the next point back. This is how they have to play. Because 21 points, the way we are playing, you don't have to service over. Now, when I was playing, was 15 points was service over. They on for 2 hours. Whereas here, the match goes so fast sometimes. So the minute you make a mistake, you have to tell yourself, I am going to get back the next point. Because if you don't get that point, you will give away 3-4 points, and that is dangerous in badminton. In the now new scoring system of 21 points, if anybody is ahead of you by 4 points, it's very dangerous. Especially in mixed doubles. Singles, you still can control because you're one single person. But when you're in doubles, you don't know, doubles or mixed doubles, you don't know how your partner is going to play. So whenever Lu Ying makes a mistake, Peng Soon cannot get angry. Peng Soon makes a mistake, Lu Ying cannot get angry. But when Peng Soon sometimes loses concentration, he gives away 3-4 points. That's what I saw in the last game. So I think they have a chance to win this medal. Whatever the color may be, they have a chance, but they have to make good. They have to tell themselves this is their last chance to make it good and get that medal back. Even though they got silver in 2012, there is a chance, we never know. They might bring back the gold, but it's all up to them. They have to psych themselves. They have to tell them, I am going to win. It was all on the head, and tell them that I am going to win and go in and fight like a tiger and win and come back.
Absolutely right, Dato'. It's all about mind game and how strong, how tough you are mentally. Coach Ismail, kita melihat seperti Dato' katakan tadi, gandengan Chang Peng Soon Goh Liu Ying ni satu gandengan yang saya rasa cukup serasi dalam beberapa tahun yang mereka dah bermain, dan keakraban mereka dan gandengan mereka, persatuan mereka juga membawa beberapa keputusan yang luar biasa. Tetapi di Sukan Olimpik ini, seperti mana yang Datuk James katakan tadi, apa jua juga boleh berlaku, Coach Ismail, apa jua. Dengan keadaan pandemik, tidak ada penonton, ketahapan, kekuatan mental, fizikal, persiapan minda dan sebagainya. Sebagai seorang bekas pemain negara, bagaimana Coach Ismail melihat keadaan Chang Peng Soon dengan Goh Liu Ying?
Okey, kita ada satu pasangan yang cukup mantap sekali, ya, Chang Peng Soon dan Goh Liu Ying di peringkat dunia. Mereka bermain cukup baik di peringkat Olimpik. Pengalaman mereka cukup luas di peringkat Olimpik. Lebih-lebih lagi pada Olimpik yang lepas, pada Olimpik di Rio. Mereka sedikit lagi menghadiahkan hadiah pingat emas. Tetapi sejak kebelakangan ini kita harus lihat performan mereka. Bagaimana ketidakserasian, penting ya, ketidakserasian mereka bermain di acara bergu campuran. Kerana mereka mempunyai latihan yang cukup baik, tetapi apa yang saya lihat, mereka kurang sparring. Pertama sekali kurang sparring. Kerana bersparing bersama-sama rakan pelatih di kelab agak menghadkan pergerakan mereka, menghadkan tempoh permainan mereka. Kalau mereka di dalam DM, mereka mempunyai satu sparring partner yang cukup bagus. Tetapi bagi saya, Chang Peng Soon dan Goh Liu Ling boleh pergi di peringkat jauh kerana mereka mempunyai pengalaman yang sangat-sangat luas. Kalau kita lihat Hassan dan Hendra Setiawan, mereka mempunyai pengalaman yang luas. Mereka tidak bermain secara tenaga. Mereka bermain secara taktikal dan mental dan pengalaman. Inilah yang harus dimainkan oleh Chang Peng Soon dan Goh Liu Ling. Kalau sekiranya mereka bermain secara tenaga, speed and power, tidak bermain secara taktikal dan pengalaman mereka agak susah untuk merealisasikan permainan mereka. Kerana mereka sudah banyak pengalaman menjuarai kejohanan yang besar-besar, melayakkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik, bermain berbagai kejohanan. Jadi, saya rasa mereka harus bijak kali ini kerana bagi pendapat saya, ini adalah Olimpik yang terakhir bagi mereka. Jadi, mereka harus bermain bersungguh-sungguh dan sentiasa bermain dengan taktikal yang berkesan. Kerana kalau kita bermain segi tenaga, segi speed atau power, saya rasa mereka tidak boleh bertahan lama. Kerana kalau kita lihat pasangan daripada China, pasangan daripada Indonesia, daripada Korea, mereka bermain speed and power. Jadi bagaimanakah taktik dan teknik untuk mengalahkan speed and power mereka? Kerana pengalaman Chang Peng Soon dan Goh Liu Ling cukup baik. Jadi mereka harus bermain dengan pengalaman dan taktik yang begitu berkesan untuk Olimpik kali ini.
Coach, saya nak baca satu komen daripada penonton kita. Mungkin Coach Ismail boleh bagi pendapat dari segi expert ya. Daripada Cikgu Baba. Beliau mengatakan bahawa experience will be crucial at this stage. Probably our young players need to have burning fighting spirit as a weapon during Olympic. Believe in themselves and that they always can do it. Apa komen Coach?
Okey, sepatutnya memang benar. Untuk pemain-pemain remaja dan yang baru-baru melayakkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik, memang mereka ada tenaga, mereka harus bermain semangat tersendiri, mereka harus mempunyai determination, self-confidence, fighting spirit. Tetapi di peringkat Olimpik, mereka memerlukan pengalaman juga. Mereka, walaupun mereka muda, tetapi tidak cukup pengalaman, di situ juga antara satu faktor kelemahan yang susah untuk memberikan performance. Kalau kita lihat dulu Datuk Lee Chong Wei, mula-mula sekali dapat melayakkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik, kalau tak silap saya pada 2008. Sebelum tu. Dia hanya layak ke peringkat pusingan ketiga. Tetapi di situ dia mengambil kesempatan sebanyak-banyaknya pengalaman yang dia telah bermain di peringkat Olimpik, dan bila melayakkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik 2008, dia tahu bagaimana harus menghadapi tekanan-tekanan yang begitu tinggi sekali. Dan ini saya mengatakan walaupun mempunyai ramai pemain-pemain muda yang melayakkan diri ke peringkat Olimpik, tetapi pengalaman juga adalah satu faktor yang penting juga untuk mereka bagaimana mengatasi satu-satu ketekanan. Yang saya katakan tadi, tekanan sekarang ini lebih besar. Dulu tekanan hanya di dalam gelanggang, kena pressure dengan penonton apa semua, tapi sekarang tekanan sangat-sangat besar. Satu, tekanan di gelanggang. Dua, tekanan di luar. Bagaimana kita harus menjaga situasi, apalagi sekarang zaman COVID ya, kita harus bagaimana pemain-pemain ini harus menerapkan tekanan. Pertama sekali, mereka tidak boleh berkumpul untuk membincangkan bagaimana untuk menghadapi lawan masing-masing. So, jadi inilah pengalaman diri sendiri yang agak penting untuk mempertingkatkan permainan di dalam kejohanan Olimpik kali ini.
Thank you, Coach. Probably last two questions, Dato' James. I think after Tan Sri Norza became the president, a lot of changes been done to the development structure, bringing in this coaches and technical directors and all that. Do you think that BM actually is in the right direction, not only just for this Tokyo, but also leading to Paris 2024 and also LA in 2028?
I think what Tan Sri has done is he even though you never a lot of people complain, they say he was never a badminton player, he don't know much about badminton, but I think being into the game already and president of BAM, he wanted changes, and he did the changes. He dropped a lot of players. He brought in new coaches. He brought in coaches from Indonesia. He brought in some coaches from all over, trying to revive the game into a different level altogether. What he's trying to do is he's trying to get the players to perform in a different level, so that the coaches have to give him the input. And what the coaches are trying to do is trying to give the extra things that I know the mixed doubles coach who went to mixed doubles now.
Yeah.
Paulus when I was there, Paulus was still there also. What Hendrawan has done, Hendrawan has been there very long, but I think being a former world champion, he knows what it takes to be a champion. So what he has done is also bringing the level of the players. And this is what exactly Tan Sri is trying to do. Bringing the players to a different level, bringing better coaches to understand the whole game better. And I think, and then he also has a program to 2024. They've got one standard program already now. And I think they're going to follow that program immediately after they come back from the Olympics. And hopefully, pray to God that, this COVID will go away and then all these changes will take place.
Everybody comes back to normal. Yeah.
Coming up. This is what I think is going to happen.
Your just for our viewers who probably have just joined us and also getting to know you, I just want to ask you, what is your most memorable experience playing for Malaysia? Your most memorable, what is we said memory terindah. So what is your memory terindah playing for Malaysia? What would it be?
I always remember this one particular game. 1976 Thomas Cup semi-finals. That particular match that Malaysia played Denmark was the finals for us. We played in Bangkok and we were playing with can you imagine Denmark had 3 world champions in Flemingdale, Svenpri and Ilo Hansen. And the second night, I was starting the game as the third single because I was playing singles and doubles. The second doubles in the first night because of 9 games, 4 games, 5 games. So the next night, I started off singles. And just before the game, I can always remember when Tan Sri Kejori, the late Tan Sri Kejori, came to me and told me, saya punya nyawa, you punya tangan. 4 weeks. And I tell you, that sentence that took me to the court, it was triggering in my head when I was playing. And I told myself, I have to give my all. And you won't believe it, he was the current, that I was still the reigning world champion at that time, Ilo Hansen. Nobody gave me a chance to beat this guy. But would you believe it, on the first day, when I took the service from the 0, I took 9 points in a row I scored.
Wow.
You remember? And then what happened was I got rattled because he was faulting the service, and then he took 8-9, 8 points in a row, and I stopped at 9-8. But in the end, eventually I won 15-9. And I beating the world champion, I was nothing. I was a nobody. But what made me fight like hell was my determination, my feelings for the country, that I need to put that flag on my chest, and I said that's what I have to do, and I want to win the country. And came out and K. Johari came and hugged me on the court. That was one match I will never forget how I won that game. I myself couldn't believe when I came back, I said, did I beat the guy? And I won. That's the beauty of it.
Svenpri was your idol, right? If I'm not mistaken. I mean, you're one of your idols in badminton?
Not exactly, but I knew he was one of the top players in the world then.
And you defeated him, I think, in one of the competitions, 15 love, is it?
No, not me. That was not me.
Not you?
I didn't play Svenpri. But I played Ilo Hansen.
I thought it was you.
I lost him in 3 games, but But Elo Hansen, I beat him in that Thomas Cup match. That was the one match I will never forget for the rest of my life.
Amazing. Datuk, one last question before we end the show tonight, and then before we move to Coach Ismail. Your prediction for the national badminton team, what is your prediction? Do you think they're going to come back with a gold or with a medal? What would it be, and who probably will do it?
I think at least we are going to get the minimum I'm talking about. I will think we will get at least 2 medals for sure. 2 medals I think we will get.
Okay.
What color I have not seen because I really have to wait till 1 or 2 days before the tournament starts.
Okay.
And I can see the way the temperament of the players, because I said that Tianlong in the early rounds.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult. Hopefully he will beat Tianlong. But the minute he beats Tianlong, you will know that he has got his confidence on the court already.
Yes.
And I think he will make himself a better player towards on the road for the gold medal.
That's all your message to the competition. As former high performance director, a man who's been in the game for a long, half of your life probably, given so much to the country. What is your message to the contingent?
I would tell all the players, give your best. You are there to represent Malaysia. Give your best. Your country is important. You are going to win, you want to win a medal, but you have to give all your support to the country, the company, the association that has brought you up. Focus on the game. Don't worry about, as I said, what you feel is what all the other players are feeling. So you have to tell yourself, I am going to give all you got from inside, from your heart, and soul, and bring back 1 medal. That's it.
Thank you, Datuk. Coach Ismail, memory teringat Coach sebagai seorang pemain badminton, dan selepas itu mungkin Coach boleh memberi kata-kata semangat untuk skuad kontingen negara.
Okey, dulu idola saya, Datuk Jim pun tahu, permainan saya seperti Haryanto Arbi. Haryanto Arbi memang idola saya daripada kecil, daripada dia mula naik dari tahun 1996, 98 macam tu. So, saya bermain dengan Haryanto Arbi masa saya umur tak salah 16 tahun. Masa tu saya kalah di peringkat remaja daripada Haryanto Arbi. Tetapi pada tahun 2000 saya bertemu sekali lagi dengan Haryanto Arbi. Masa tu saya memang cakap dengan diri saya akan buat yang terbaik. Tak mungkin saya menang sebab masa tu Haryanto Arbi top 2 in the world. Tak mungkin saya menang. Tetapi saya berjumpa dengan Haryanto Arbi di kejohanan terbuka Korea 7 Star tahun 2000. Jadi bila saya turun, saya bermain fokus dan tidak ingat menang atau kalah. Tetapi saya bermain cukup bagus. Saya ingat lagi saya menang Haryanto Arbi 15-6, 15-8. Itu adalah satu pencapaian yang membanggakan untuk saya pada masa tu.
Tahniah Coach. Well done.
Itulah.
Mungkin Coach boleh memberikan sepatah 2 kata untuk skuad kontingen negara, Coach Ismail.
Okey, saya mengambil kesempatan ini untuk kontingen negara kita dalam badminton, berjuanglah sampai ke titik akhir. Dan masa inilah yang ditunggu-tunggu oleh seluruh rakyat Malaysia. Apa yang anda telah dilatih untuk menjadi satu performan di dalam kejuaraan itu, dan saya memberi kata-kata semangat, jangan give up sebelum bertemu. Bagilah sepenuh jiwa di dalam gelanggang, fight bermati-matian, bermain untuk negara Malaysia. Itu yang terutamanya. Malaysia boleh.
Terima kasih Coach. Perjuangan yang belum selesai seperti yang dikatakan oleh 2 individu ikon sukan badminton negara, Datuk James Selvaraj dengan Coach Ismail Saman. I want to take this opportunity once again to thank Datuk James Selvaraj for your time, and Coach Ismail, and also especially to all our viewers who are watching this program. Borak Tokyo, thank you very much. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your support, and demi Malaysia, let's hope and pray that the elusive gold medal will return, or we will make it happen in Tokyo 2020. Let's continue to pray for all our frontliners also who are fighting this pandemic COVID-19. We pray for all the doctors, nurses, everyone who's fighting this battle for us. Malaysia, stay safe, and we will see you in the next episode of Borak Tokyo. God bless you.